live primetime golf on the East Coast for you from Hawaii. It is the afternoon here. The sun is shining. Golf Channel and the LPGA Tour bringing you live coverage of the Lotte Championship presented by Hershey. We've got some good storylines on the first page of the leaderboard. Soo-Young Jang, a sponsor's invite from South Korea, trying to earn LPGA Tour membership with a win here. She leads by 3. Elena Sharp, the veteran, 36 years of age, had her best season on the LPGA Tour last year, looking for that first victory. Career best finish of 4th. She is 3 back. Now, here is a situation that is unfolding on the golf course right now. This is at the 7th. We've shown you this creek, which has burst its banks because of the rain that we've had. Players getting over the bridge, but rules officials keeping an eye on this situation. If that bridge becomes impassable, they will have to suspend play here. At the moment, it is okay. They have volunteers out there shuttling the players across in golf carts, as you can see, but any more flooding there, and they may have to reassess this situation and suspend play to figure out what to do. That is the only way at the 7th hole to get across the bridge. There are a couple of holes that run next to each other there. The only way to get across is that bridge. So if it becomes impassable, they have a difficult situation on their hands. But they're keeping a close eye on it, and we are hoping for the best. So far, so good, but we don't need another stoppage of play, Grant.
Well, so far, so good for Soo-Young Jang for birdie at 8.
And I'm inclined to agree with Jerry that I'm not so sure that that kind of input is ultimately very good, because what happens if you don't agree with what the caddy says, or if you feel something differently in your feet as to what he's telling you? How can you possibly buy into that putt?
Over 9, you'll remember Mi-Hang Lee did a beautiful second shot in. This is from 10 feet below the hole for a 3. That's a good one. 3 really good shots there. So she birdies 9, stays within reach, albeit 4 shots. That's a big reach right now.
Back at the 8th, Ariya Jutanugarn rang in the Thai New Year with a bogey-free 66 yesterday, a 3-day celebration. She was the first Thai player to win on the LPGA Tour. That was last year. 5 wins, and Jerry, if I'd have told you this time last year that she was going to be the player of the year at this point last year, I don't know how many would have believed us.
No, and it was not that long before that, the previous season, wishing this 10 straight cuts in a row. I don't think anybody would have believed you. She was never comfortable with the read on that putt, even though she had called in her caddy, Les Lurk, who was on the bag for those first 3 wins last year, to get an extra set of eyes, and never liked what she felt there.
To be clear, no one's doubted her ability.
No, not at all. Always incredibly talented, but it was just the mental side that was kind of letting her down a little bit. But not only that, she was injured, and I think that really affected her in a bigger way than she would like to admit.
Over 9, Stacey Lewis, second shot.
80 yards more than she had into this hole yesterday. This is a 4-iron.
Oh, that's a good 4-iron, though. Don't hit that ball.
She hit it about like a wedge, didn't she?
That was a beauty, Kay. Pretty much a kick in. We go to 10.
And Inbee Park to get to 8 under. The lead is 14 under, belongs to Soo-Young Jang. And Inbee Park is 7 back.
While that was happening, this was happening at 9. Elena Sharp's second shot.
15 yards ahead of where Stacey was and in the right rough. That was a 6-iron.
Oh, no way to get any spin on it, though. That is the difference from playing in the fairway.
Almost hit the flagstick.
Yeah, it really did. Take a look at how close it came. Boink.
Ooh.
Back to Michelle Wie at 18.
This is a birdie attempt.
Nice effort. Judging the speed, up that tier.
She has 9 holes to play. Back we go to the 9th.
Elena Sharp, her third shot.
Going with the putter. That's about 6 feet of fringe to putt through, and that slowed it down quite a bit, Mark.
That was a lot of fringe to go through.
Well, maybe that's a result of her not chipping it so well on the 7th hole.
Aha, good point there, Kay. Yeah, you'd see quite a few of the players try and pitch it up and over that little swale back there behind. This is So-Yeon Yu now at 11. Hole is directly behind her. Is the ball in? Yes. How about that one? So follows up the bad shot into the water at 10 that resulted in a bogey with a birdie. Good bounce back. Very important stat in this game.
She's 5th on tour in that category. Of course, she's 5th or better in just about everything, Mark, right now.
Okay, Becky Morgan trying to get to -10.
Yeah, boy, she missed a 4-footer in the last hole for birdie.
Kind of pulled that one, Kay.
And that she's hitting it beautifully today. Just her putter's gotten a little cold.
Karen made a great point earlier that for many of the players, when the greens slow up, if you're a right-handed player and have to put a little more hit on it, you tend to pull it. As Christy Kerr pours in another one. No surprise there. 3 in a row for her. Good start to her second 9. Bag at 9 now. Elena Sharp for her par.
Kind of an important putt here just to keep things rolling. She made that nice par save on the 7th hole after a poor chip. This is part of her game that she's been working extra hard on. Her coach, Kristen Malala, said basically the wedges needed to get sharper and she needed to become a better putter. Karen, you could probably say that for a majority of the field out here, that you're constantly trying to get to become a better, more consistent putter.
That typically is really what separates, Kay. When you look down the statistics, lots of these players hit a lot of greens because they hit a lot of fairways. But it's the ones that get the ball in the hole that are right there as world number 1, number 2.
Okay. Didn't look very comfortable with that read and decided let's just play it straight. Put it right in the back of the cup. Good save there for Sharp. She stays 3 shots behind. Stacey Lewis is going to pick up one if she can get this one in.
And believe it or not, for her first birdie today, maybe she'll get it sizzling on the back 9 for the first time this week.
I think she'll have a little talking with herself walking over to that 10th tee. 37 strokes she went out in. And here is the 10th.
And Mi-Hyang Lee, after her 4th birdie of the day at the 9th, she is tied for 3rd place at 10 under.
Pretty conservative shot there, but I think that it is playing that much longer today into that green.
Over 7, Lydia Ko for a birdie just off the putting surface. Did not play a great second shot into this par 4. Okay, wanders just outside Gimme Rage, so she'll have to pay attention to that one.
Today's coverage aerially is provided by the Hawaiian Islands. We are on the island of Oahu on the western shores. 227 miles of shoreline on Oahu. You've probably seen just about every one of them, haven't you, Mark, at this point?
Yeah, great island, different climates, different topographies. This is the leeward side, as we talked about. Averages about 10 inches of rain a year, and it seems like we've had almost that much this week. Over at 9, second shot.
Kay mentioned it, this hole playing so much longer. IK with 180 yards back to the hole. This is a hybrid. The signal's a 5.
When I was playing, the number that you have on a hybrid would signify 1 lower than the aunt would have played. So this would probably be like a forearm for her.
Don't want to miss left. That's where players are having difficulty.
Good shot here, it looks like. Oh, yeah, she'll take that from that distance.
Yeah, that is a beauty, Jerry. Right where she was aiming, just short and right of the hole. Not satisfied, though. Not sure why. Jutanugarn now from the right rough.
Just 1 yard closer than IK. This 179 yards could be a bit of a flyer lie. She has 6 iron, so I think she's guarding against that a little bit. Ball slightly above her feet.
And kind of a scruffy opening 9 for her.
Yeah, she really, I mentioned on the last hole, she hasn't found the club head in the center of it that often. This is a bullet here. That just jumped like mad.
Wow. So she's having trouble with distance and direction right now, neither of which is a good thing. Here's the leader.
175 yards to the hole for Su Yun.
For those of you at home not familiar with Jang, she is not a member of the LPGA, but she's also not a newcomer. She's been around the Korean LPGA for 5 years. Pretty consistent player over there. Been between 10th and 35th on the money list pretty much every year. This, though, is a different stage.
That was the first mishit shot that I've seen today, and that was mishit by a lot.
She hit a wahoo before the ball. So you have to wonder, after all those good shots, she isn't starting to realize exactly the situation she is in right now. Up to 10.
And a birdie putt from Mi-Hyang Lee. She'll have that to stay 10 under. Our leader, Su-Yan Jang, has yet to make a bogey, but she has missed the green. At the 9th, she'll have a tough up and down. And we are in Honolulu, Hawaii.
Back to the Ko Olina Golf Club. The leader, third shot, the par 4 ninth.
Plenty of green to utilize for Su Yan. Green slopes toward her. That's awfully well done. Wasn't a tough shot, but didn't think she'd threaten the hole.
Pretty good effort there, but 4.5 feet or so for her par. We go up to 10.
Brittany Altamare for birdie. Not being cavalier about that one. Rolls it in for birdie. Gets to 7 under. Su Yan Jang is not going to make any mistakes. The chasers have to get busy here. Back at 9.
Harriet Jutanugarn's third from behind the green.
The downhill lie is what makes this shot really tough. Landed it just about exactly where she needed to.
Not many players would actually even attempt that shot. The safety valve would have been to try and putt it down through there, hit a hybrid maybe, and she just took the lofted club and took the swale out of play and landed it right on her spot.
42-year-old from Wales, Becky Morgan at the 10th.
Played on 2 Curtis Cups back in the day for GB&I.
I was on one of the teams with her.
I bet you were. Which year was that?
It was in
98 or
Carter, 98.
98.
The year before. I went from there, played the US Women's Am, and then went to Q School.
And now look at you.
Here I am.
There you are. Well, Stacey Lewis Kay, maybe a little momentum building, possibly. Who knows?
Yeah, possibly. You know, she just, it started off for her where her putter was letting her down a little bit. I think the slowness of the green, she was under reading or kind of almost trying to have to force the putts. And then she got sloppy with a couple of shots. Nothing sloppy about that 4-iron that she's just laced in there. This is a 6-iron, 164 yards. All these holes heading back in this direction, back towards the west, are playing much longer today. They were all downwind for the most part yesterday. Just a little bit of breeze right now. It's not very strong. And she'd love to drop this down a little short and to the right of the hole location. There's a mound to the left of where this hole is today. Yesterday she drove it into the water. Today a beautiful drive.
That's the
Long putt for birdie at the 10th. Get you back to the 9th and our leader.
Jerry, I think this is a big putt for Jang.
Yeah, like you mentioned, 4.5 feet, very slippery down the hill. You cannot run this one in with conviction. You'll have more than this distance coming back if you miss it. So you have to read it perfectly. And after that huge miscue from the fairway, this would feel very much like a birdie.
Oh, she passes the test. What an opening 9 holes for that young lady right there. Never been in this position before and has got herself a 3-shot lead.
So-Yeon Yu to get to 10 under. Again, you still have 18 holes to go tomorrow in the final round. 9 holes to play for our leader. But back on the 8th, 17th hole of the day for Lydia Ko, who is having herself a day. She's 6 under par. She's moved herself to a tie for 9th.
Just clinging to that top ledge. She knows it too.
Back we go to the 10th. You see Elena Sharp alone in second place, and here's her second shot.
Backed off this shot, realigned herself, and that was a 7-iron from 160, Karen.
She went after it too. She knew she had to.
Kay talked about the rededication, committing herself to becoming an Olympic athlete. And she'll have that to get within 2 of our leader, Jang, who remains without a blemish on the scorecard this week. 45 holes without a bogey for Su-Yeon Jang. She leads at 14 under at the Lotte. Our final group is making the turn. Our leader by 3. Soo-Yeon Jang on the tee at 10.
Safely avoided the water.
Let's go to 1.
This is Michelle Wie. Her third shot she teed off on the back 9. Hasn't been able to take advantage of the par 5s up to this point.
No, and she even said in her press conference that her irons just haven't been very sharp. She hasn't been able to get the ball close enough to the hole to give herself an opportunity.
Long birdie putt for Stacey Lewis at 10.
A healthy 40-footer. Gave that a legitimate chance.
And you see that Lotte Tower replica, 5th largest, tallest building in the world, and there's a powerful swing of Arya Jatanagarn.
With just a 2-iron that didn't get as high as maybe the 2nd floor of that tower.
And yet, driving your fellow competitor.
Okay, Michelle Wie now at the first. It's a hole she never has had much success on. Really any of the years at the Lotte Championship. Just lacked the pace. That was all there. Straight pars for Michelle Wie, and on a pretty much wind-free day with lift clean in place, you're going to get stampeded if you make 10 straight pars.
Elena Sharp for birdie.
Boy, it's impressive. A couple good par saves and 4 nice birdies.
And she is now within 2 of our leader, Soo-Yeon Jang. To the 8th, and Lydia Ko trying to work her way into contention here. For her 7th birdie. Here comes world number 1.
She doesn't want to let that spot go.
Remember, So-Yeon Yu needs to win and have Lydia finish 5th or worse for So-Yeon to supplant her as number 1. But Ko has tied Yu at 9 under. We're at the 14th, the par 5. And this is a birdie putt. Mark, you have seen some of her biggest moments. Karen and the rest of us were talking at the Kia. We believe she's a Hall of Fame caliber player. What do you think about Kristie Kerr?
I definitely think she is. She has done so much for the game, besides her accomplishments on the course, too. Really tremendous ambassador for women's golf. Didn't like that stroke very much, though.
On good form as well, Karen, at the moment.
She is, and the one thing you'll notice about Kristie, even though that wasn't a particularly good stroke, not a great putt, at least it got to the hole and past it.
Par putt here for Stacey Lewis at the 10th.
Yeah, a little bit of work to clean up. And she's very meticulous and very consistent how she hits those short putts.
The green is clearing. How about the skies above Koalina, Jerry? Are they clearing?
No, we got our 4 o'clock local time showers headed this way yet again, and that might force another stoppage of play. I hope not. We can get this 3rd round in and bring live LPG golf to our viewers from prime time to closing time, Grant. I'm projecting close to 6 o'clock finish locally, midnight on the East Coast for this last group to finish, if there isn't another delay.
The birdies have been great and impressive, but that par save at 9 to me may have been what has impressed me most today about Soo-Yeon Jang.
Well, the other 2 caddies in this group I've had conversations with in the last 2 hours, and they're just a little bit in awe of how mistake-free this young lady's playing. And then when she did make the mistake, made a pretty routine up and down at 9. Is one thing, as we all know, and she was in this position a year ago. Sunday is the telling factor. 181 yards into a little breeze, 4-iron. Another quality shot right there, it appears. Oh, yeah.
Goodness.
Well, I think it's something to remember too about this player is that when her and Inji Chun were growing up, she was regarded as the better player, not Inji.
Yeah.
And look at what Inji has done.
Speaking of better players, here is Lydia Ko at the 9th tee. That one should be good.
She needs something, doesn't she, Mark, to snap her out of the little mini funk that she's been in.
Yeah, she's made a lot of changes all at the same time in her game, and that is not always easy to do.
At the 10th, 10 under, Jatanagarn.
6-iron for area 178 into the breeze. Looked pretty solid on a gray line. It gets back there.
Ahead to the 11th and Mi-Hyang Lee.
This one's for a birdie, Grant. Good spot to be putting from here. Just a little bit on the slow side, but not much break.
Mark, we talked a little bit earlier about players coming into this golf course, greens a little bit slower. The players that are not as confident with their putting are able to really feel like they can accelerate through the ball and get a good roll in it because they're not fearful that the ball will get away from them. Mi-Hyang Lee this year is ranked really low in green putts per green in regulation. Her number is 1.82 as opposed to, say, Inbee Park, which is 1.68.
Good catch on your part. Good number crunching. Zhang leads by 2. She'll have yet another birdie putt at the 10th when we come back to Oahu. We're back in Oahu. In Oahu or on Oahu? How would you say it, Mark?
Hey, Jack.
Well, let's see. I can't ever figure out why we say
Someone come out
on the plane. You don't get
help
on the
me
plane,
adjust
you get
my
in the
pack.
plane.
It's
That's true.
bothering
Humpback
me
whale's
right
about ready to leave the islands, go back to Alaska.
This would be a whale of a putt for Area.
You're on the island, Grant. You're in a city.
Okay.
And I can't believe I'd have to explain that to the wordsmith that he is, Grant Boone.
Trying to defer to our island host here. Area can make the game look easy at times, and she can often look frustrated when she doesn't achieve perfection, like that approach shot. She just kind of looked almost disgusted.
One of the things I don't like about the way Aria's game matches up is she's a little bit of a gouger, takes some pretty good divots, and I think the sweepers in wet conditions like this are better. Lydia Ko would qualify as more of a sweeper. Tom Watson won 5 Open Championships in wet weather, basically sweeping the ball off the turf. He was never a gouger. Good look from behind the green at what Lydia's facing. Right to left is the correct shot shape here if you want to get close, but center of the green is a fine target. 4 is a good score, always at 9. Okay, that's where she was aiming. Wanted to hit it a little bit further, but as good as she is with her short game, shouldn't have a problem there. Up to 10.
And our leader to push the lead back to 3.
Naming this about a cup outside the right. Wasn't enough. Good stroke, though.
To the 11th.
Stacey Lewis, second shot.
It's all about the wedge here. Sand wedge. Inside 100 yards. Oh, and that's going to be really disappointing. And Karen, you've got to take advantage of having that yardage into this easy hole location.
Yeah, you do, with just a wedge in your hand. Anytime you miss a green with a wedge in your hand, I don't think players are ever very happy.
Is there a marine biologist? Is that a humpback, Mark?
That is a humpback whale. Used to be an endangered species, and they've been protected and now flourish in these waters. Second shot for Sharp. Look at this.
Beauty.
That is a beauty.
Thank you.
Okay, so a chance for a 3 there. Stacey Lewis is going to have to work for her 4.
Michelle Wie, her 11th hole of the day.
The second hole, really a tricky driving one for the players. So seeing Michelle on the fairway, good sign. That'll give her an opportunity. It will break to the right. Might be a little downhill, which will help Michelle get the ball to the hole.
That sounded good, didn't it?
It did.
Michelle looking for her first win since 2014. She's on that list of players who haven't won since 3 years ago. And our aerial coverage today is provided by the Hawaiian Islands. Saturday finish here at the Lotte Championship, presented by Hershey. Then a week off next week on the LPGA Tour. And then to the Dallas-Fort Worth area, where there will not be views quite like this.
Good look at the railway line that runs right through the center of this resort. That was actually a working railway for a period of time.
Par 5 14th. This is Brooke Henderson. Even par on her round today.
You can see this 13th and 14th hole, different wind direction today. It might give the longer players an opportunity to get to them in 2.
Well, Stacey Lewis must like the look of this one, Kay, because she's taking the flagstick out.
I think she's really irked and quite determined to get this in the hole, and that's the only thing that would make her feel better and erase the memory of missing the sand wedge, missing the green.
Okay, safe 4. None too pleased, though.
No, she's one of those players though that does kind of thrive on that sort of that anger, that angry side of herself. Again, when she gets that mad look about her, it's normally a determination more than it is just rage.
Back up on the tee now. This is Zhang with less than driver on this hole.
Probably just to try and keep it up at the highest portion of the fairway in a flat lie. No real chance to cut the corner here, being into a slight breeze. Longer players, as you know, mark down breeze can sometimes, if they wanted to, get it close to the front of the green with driver.
She's been able to keep her tempo and rhythm going nicely. We've seen a little too quick transition from backswing to downswing for Michelle Wie, but we really haven't seen any of that from Zhang to this point. That will not be in the fairway, so she'll have to play it as it lies, but it looked to be a pretty good lie. Back at 9, this is the shot I was referring to for Lydia Ko. It's a long one for her third. Pretty straightforward, though. A lot of players would putt it. She decided to chip it, nearly hold it. So that'll be a safe par for Lydia Ko. I'll give her that one. Leda Sharp now trying to find a little break in this putt. I would think, if anything, it's going maybe a little right, Kay?
Exactly. Just wants to pull down to the right. And I don't think she can play it outside the hole. Not from this length. It's just about being totally committed to it and completely trusting where you're set up and how you're going to hit this, how firmly you're going to hit this.
Okay, she did it nicely.
Yeah, making this look really easy right now.
There she is, just a shot behind. We go up to 14.
Let's see if Brooke Henderson can pick up a shot here, get to 6 under. Well, she moved to a tie for 24th, so she's got a lot of players in front of her and a lot of holes to make up. To 12, and Mi-Hyang Lee. Little tickler coming back. How about this from Michelle Wie?
Well, you can see where she's aiming it. Left of the hole, breaking right. Just have to pick a spot to roll it over. Can it get to the hole? Good try.
Probably not going to happen this week for Michelle Wie. You like the direction in which she's trending, though, don't you?
I do. I really feel like she's got a lot of confidence, and she's the kind of player that if she's driving the ball well, it generally runs through all of her game.
15.
Christy Kerr for a birdie to get to -11. Climb within 3 shots of the lead. Beautiful stroke, great pace, good line. Look at that second 9 scorecard for her. 6 holes. She has birdied 4 of them. Those folks really don't care right now. They're enjoying Aloha Friday in the islands. What a spot. We'll be back to Ko Olina and the Lotte Championship. back. This is the leader, Zhang's second shot at 11, just from the right-hand rough.
From 105, she's actually in a little area of ground and repair, but I like the lie better than the drop. Controlled.
Soo-Yeon Jang, just 22 years old, playing on a sponsor's exemption. She won the Lotte event on the Korean LPGA Tour last year. That got her into this event where she tied for 5th. She won twice last year on the Korean LPGA Tour, and she has been flawless this week, and here she is at the 11th.
Trying to figure out where the break is here on this putt from below the hole. Looks like she's going to aim it outside the left edge.
Yeah, the break is definitely outside the hole, just a matter of the speed.
That was low all the way. For you right-handed players at home watching, you have to play those putts like they're straight. Pick a point that is the apex of the break and turn it into a straight putt. So many right-handers try to curve those left to right putts into the hole. You just can't do that.
I think it's because they get distracted by the hole mark. So when you look up, you don't look on your line, you actually look at the hole and you try and push it to the hole.
This is In Ji Chun over at 15. She's coming off back-to-back birdies and has a chance to make it 3 in a row here. Trying to get herself into position, as is Jutanugarn at 11. That's a beauty. That might be the jolt we were talking about she needed. It's been a clean card, but a scruffy round, as I said before. Hasn't hit her best shots, but she is 2 under for the day. She's got back-to-back par 5s. If she can get past the par 3 12th, and we go there.
And Jang, who missed that putt to get to 15 under, now could have some company here. Elena Sharp for birdie and a share.
And Grant, this is for her 3rd birdie in a row. She's on a roll. This is a perfect type putt to make. It doesn't have a whole lot of break in it. It's no more than 12, 13 feet. Bringing in her caddy, Sarah Bowman, for just a little second look, confirmation that it does peel off to the right a little. See if she can make that same committed, solid stroke.
Oh, you got to be kidding. She thought she might have it.
Looked like she might have peaked just a little bit early on that one. And that might have been the reason it didn't have quite the same over-end roll.
How about this look from the 11th to the 12th? There's some waterfalls here.
And they're actually taking the long way round.
Yes, the more scenic route.
Yeah.
Well, again, at this point last year, Ariya Jutanugarn was around 50th in the world rankings. She's now number 3. Here's a former number 1 in the world. Let's see if Stacy Lewis has a little late afternoon charge in her K.
This is almost the same putt that Elena had. She knows what it does now. She's got to putt this firmly, keep it inside the left.
There was such great rhythm to that stroke. She took the putter back, and there was no hurry getting the putter head back to the ball. There was plenty of time for transition, and it just looked like she knew what she was doing with that.
Remember, we had a 64 last year on Saturday in the final round from Minjee Lee to win it.
This is Chun for birdie over at 15 to get to -11. And all of a sudden, she is only 3 shots behind. 3 holes left in her round. Maybe can catch another one on the way in. You'd like to be within 3 or 4 if you could of the lead going into the final round tomorrow.
Well, of course.
4-4-3, nice little stretch there, Karen.
And she will know her very good friend's strengths and weaknesses too, the player that's in the lead.
That's right, Minjee Chun, best friends with our leader, Soo-Yeon Jang. Here's Arya Jatanagarn after a birdie at the 11th on the tee at 12.
Breeze from the left, 159 yards. This an 8-iron. She will give it a good full treatment. Looked like she was trying to save it through impact. She might have done it.
Facial expression told you, didn't it? Well, she didn't like the strike.
No, she knew it only needed another 1.5 yards, and she's on that top level. Very nice looking swing. Very sort of compact, very powerful drives with that lower body. But the angles and the playing really very good indeed. But as Jerry was saying, it did look like she was trying to save it coming through the ball a bit. But she can look a bit that way with some of those shots.
Just 21 years old. Arya Jatanagarn, 22-year-old Soo-Yeon Jang, the leader by 1.
6-iron here for Soo-Yeon, so this will be a smooth one. Probably landed on that lower tier, I think would be the plan. See if it releases up the slope. It's not a big slope. And Mark referenced it, the tempo of this golf swing and being able to stay in it for the entire day has been extremely impressive. This one a little right. It's going to be plenty of club.
Well, she misses just her 4th green of the day. Back here at the Lotte. And it's Jang leading by 1, but she's missed the green long at the 12th.
Lotte Championship presented by Hershey here on Golf Channel, shaping up to be an exciting final day on Saturday. Plenty of good storylines on the first page of the leaderboard here. And we did have a slight delay earlier in the third round, but so far so good. Looking to finish up tonight and be bang on schedule for the final day on Saturday. So-Young Jang, the sponsor invite with a one-shot lead. Elena Sharp is closing. Christy Kerr 7 under for the day, and this for another birdie.
At the par 3 16th. Whoa! Christy Kerr with a little coaxing. And she moves to 12 under. Jeez is right, yeah. 5 birdies in her last 6.
I really feel like she's been enjoying her time in Hawaii. You think of that interview that she did with Jerry Foltz during that rain delay, how she was having a laugh and a giggle with him about the food and stuff. So she was very lighthearted about things.
To 3.
Michelle Wie for a birdie.
Interesting, we went from Christy Kerr, who has great belief in her putting, never any doubt, to Michelle Wie, who's kind of almost a bit wishful with hers.
At 12, our leader.
Pretty nicely done there. That ball was almost like it was sitting on a tee. She could have opted to play just about any shot she wanted, but she chose the one with which she was comfortable and nearly hold it.
The only player in the field who is bogey-free this week.
Yi-Hang Lee at 13, third shot. Uphill lie. No surprise there, it would come up short. Very, very predictable.
That back plateau is tiny. You go over the back of the green, really difficult to chip down close to the hole.
Ariya Jutanugarn with the lengthy birdie putt at the 12th.
Lengthy one that goes up to that subtle top tier. Turns a little right in the process. Ariya, when she's playing confidently and near contention, as she is this week, rarely struggles with her speed control on the longer putts.
I really think it's a sign of how talented a player, that's a little frisky, little talented a player she is, that she's there in tied for 4th place, just a couple of shots off the lead, really, 3-4 shots off the lead, and she's still there without her best stuff.
The great ones can win without their A games, can't they? At the 18th, Paula Creamer is for a closing birdie. Talked about the progress she's been making with her swing. So a struggle the last 2 days, but the 66 in the first round, would that be something that she could build on moving forward?
Oh, absolutely. Any time that you can put a round like that and get that, that low number on the leaderboard and know that you're doing it with your putter, which has been the one thing that's been letting her down, it's got to be good for her confidence. I'm not going to be happy with that, though.
Here is In Kyung Kim, IK. Jerry, 11 years now out here on the LPGA Tour.
One of the most liked players from her peers, of all of them that have been out here, veteran players. Everybody likes her, and she nearly a day goes by that she's not reminded of the 1-foot putt at the ANA Inspiration. I think that makes her a sentimental favorite with not only the fans, but also a lot of the other players when she's in contention. She's had a lot of near misses since that double bogey early in the front 9.
Different personalities, but I'm thinking of a player like Scott Hoke, who won so much money, had a ton of wins on the PGA Tour, and when you think about him, one of the first things you think about is something that didn't go his way. IK Kim has endured that with a lot of grace. Had a big win at the end of last year and having a chuckle there off the 12th. Now, this is a good 4 feet or so, Jerry?
Yeah, and a tough read as well. Going up to the hole, it looked like it was turning right the whole way, and then it stopped turning right and almost came back the other way. So my instinct is this is right side of the hole, but it might not turn. And it's a little downhill, so you can't get too frisky with it.
She knew it, didn't she? A 3-putt bogey for Jutanugarn, and that blunts the momentum after a birdie at 11.
Shame, really. as Jerry was saying, that was a difficult read. And I think when you're standing over it, it's very hard to hit a committed putt if you're very doubtful over the line. But ultimately, that's the only thing you can do, is be committed to it.
You have a stretch here, 14 and 15, where you can make a little hay. This for birdie for So-Yeon Yu. Pours it right in the heart. The winner of the A&A Inspiration, her second major. She joins the group at 10 under par.
Over 13, Mi-Hyun Lee for a birdie. First of back-to-back par fives that the players have to take advantage of. Right on line. It's amazing how so many of those putts look like they would have gone in had they been higher. They're always on line when they're short.
Well, here is In-Ji Chun, last year's Bear Trophy winner and Rookie of the Year. She had a bunch of shots like that last year. The beauty there. That'll take her to 12 under. Lydia Ko, world #1, has moved into contention, and she is with Tom Abbott.
Well, thank you, Grant. You certainly played like the world #1 today. 65 for Lydia Ko. If you look at your rounds this weekend, you compare it to your putting. You had 29 putts in round 1, shot 1 over. 69, you had 25 putts in round 2. Today, 24 putts, you shoot 65. Is it as simple as putting better?
Putting was better the last few days. I've been striking the ball really well, coming up to this week, and, that was what I was struggling, the last few days, and it was definitely nice to, be able to give myself more birdie opportunities today, and I actually got, some longer range putts to go in, which I haven't seen very often, this season, so, those are kind of bonuses, and, I was able to really combine, the whole game well today, and I think there was a huge difference between the last couple of days.
Bogey free over the last couple of rounds. Let's take a look at some of your highlights here, Lydia, and talk us through it. This is the 5th hole. You started, of course, from the 10th.
Yeah, we actually had to go around in a cart as there was, pretty much Mother Nature made a swamp. So it was nice to make a birdie on that par 5, and, it was a little fast one here, so I was just trying to get to fall right into the cup. This one was, I thought I was going to leave it short, and I've been doing that quite often, but, luckily I had the force pushing it in the hole, and it's always nice to, finish off the round, with some birdies coming in.
We've talked a lot about it this week, but are you aware of what could happen with the Rolex rankings?
I don't really look at the rankings, at all, actually. I hear about it through media, and, I know that, May and So-Yeon and, all the girls are playing so consistent. So-Yeon having, all her finishes within the top 7, I heard, and that's very impressive. And, I haven't been able to play as well as I would have liked, but, hopefully I'll have a good finish here, and, no matter what happens, all I can do is try my best and, go from there.
How important to you, though, is to be the world #1?
I've been very fortunate to have had it, happen so early, and, so much earlier than I could have ever dreamt of, and, it's definitely an amazing position to be in, but, at the same time, the girls are playing great, and you know that you need to play as good or even better, week in, week out, and, it's tough to do that, but, hopefully, I'll be able to straighten things out and, play as well as, the other girls are doing, and, this is a great state of, what the tour is like, and, there's just so much talent out here.
Well, you have a chance to win tomorrow and, of course, defend that top spot in the world rankings. We'll look forward to watching it. Thanks very much, Lydia, for stopping by. Let's get back out to the action now in round 3 of the Lotte Championship, and we'll pick up that second-to-last group.
Elena Sharp, third shot up the hill here from the intermediate cut of the rough on the right.
Better or right? Right on it, finishing right of it. Right on the palm tree, just a hair left of it. Yeah. Between the stake and the pin, right?
Exactly. I like that.
85. Yep.
Small little target up there on that top tier where this hole is located, only 21 feet. It's only 21 feet deep, coming out of a wet lie.
Okay, a little more spin that she wanted.
Oh, and you see that so often,
all the way
Mark.
back down. Okay, wow.
Yeah, it's just a shame. I mean, it was for a moment about 2 feet from the hole. And you certainly don't want to go over.
Here's the leader on the tee.
Light breeze helping. Ooh, that one's solid. Nice flat ball flight up the left side. Needs a bounce to have any chance to get home in two.
Oh, that had some scamper to it, Jerry.
Yeah, you wouldn't have expected that with all the rain.
Soo-Yeon Jang, a young lady from Korea, in on a sponsor exemption and in the lead. Can anybody catch her here in the third round? We will find out when we come back to Ko-Olina. Welcome back. This is Christy Kerr, who is on a roll here at Ko-Olina. Second shot at the 17th. She's gotten it to minus 12. Oh, and a chance for another one here.
And growing up in Florida has to be really used to these kind of conditions. You think about all the thunderstorms and weather you get in the afternoon in Florida. Courses ended up played pretty soggy too.
At the par 3 fourth, Michelle Wie going to drop a shot. It's the first circle or square on the card today. Back to 13.
Okay, Stacy Lewis. This is a toughie. This is a toughie. Oh! Nice call, Mark.
It was. That was a tough one, Mark. She just... I think sometimes when they're that difficult, you just go, well, you've got nothing to lose.
Wow, what a turnaround there for Stacy Lewis, staring down a 6 and made it.
In-Gee Chun hit a beauty in here to the par 3 16th. This for a third.
Birdie on
Make
that,
it 4 in a row.
birdie on that 16th hole, Grant, is like picking up a shot and a half on everybody else.
How about that? In-Gee Chun moves to 12 under. She is tied for third. Let's go to 15.
Sydney Clandon with the ball below her feet, second shot. Slowly rising up that leaderboard. She's got it to minus 9. 3 under on her round and a chance to improve on that. That's a beauty. So 2.5 feet for Clanton. Lena Sharp, you'll remember, backed her ball all the way down to the lower level. This is a slow putt.
Yeah, that steep incline. Not the way she had envisioned this whole playing out.
No, that is like dragging an anchor all the way up that hill. It is so hard to hit it hard enough from down there. And as Karen Stubbles has said, Christy Kerr doesn't ever fight her distance control on these putts. She is confident. She hits the ball solid every time with that putter, and I would not be surprised to see this one go in. There you go. Christy Kerr. Wow, she's not going to want to see this round end. Look at that. 6 birdies on her inward 9. She's a shot out of the lead. You talk about a contrast. Zhang leading Kerr by a shot. Lena Sharp there also. Scrappy round for Ariya Jutanugarn. And further down the leaderboard is Minjee Lee, a round of 68 today. She's down with Tom Abbott.
Thank you, Mark. Minjee, you come here as the defending champion. You're a 7 under par. Do you have high expectations coming in as the defending champion? And if so, have you lived up to those expectations?
Well, coming into this week, I just wanted to have fun, and obviously I knew I was defending, so there's a little more pressure there. But yeah, I mean, I'm 7 under right now, and I think the leaders are going to be running away with a little bit, so just going to try and have a good round tomorrow and just have fun out there.
How has this golf course changed from last year? It's a lot softer, isn't it, in 2017?
Yeah, definitely much softer. We've had much more rain, I think, during the course of the week, so yeah, I mean, it's playing a little longer, and I think the wind is keeps switching, so yeah, I don't remember playing this wind last year.
You shot 64 in the final round last year to win by 1. Do you think you could do it tomorrow? You're 7 back right now.
Well, even if I have 8 under, I think the scores are going to be pretty low, so maybe it might be a stretch this time.
Yeah, we're coming off a good week at the ANA Inspiration. You're only 1 shot out of the playoff there, so a couple of good weeks, and maybe you can do something tomorrow. You never know. Minjee, thanks very much for talking to us. Let's go back out now to the 3rd round action. Remember, it's a Saturday finish here at the Lotte Championship. Grant?
Tom and Minjee, thank you. Multiple winners, Karen, before the age of 20.
And look at that. Lydia Ko, a full 10 more wins than her nearest rival, which would be Lexi Thompson. So impressive. That's scary good.
Lydia has one more chance to add to that. She won't turn 20 until, 10 days from now.
There you go.
Here's Ariya Jutanugarn.
Ariya Jutanugarn trying to go for this green in 2, came up and out of it. One-handed finish.
Well, a pretty good one-handed finish. 239 front it was. Uphill.
Okay, that'll be on the front portion of the green. Hole location all the way in the back. Take another look here.
See where she generates all her power from. She gets a nice wide full shoulder turn, loads up on her right side so she can drive through hard and fast with her lower body. And she does release the club head nicely too. So everything's all synced up nicely with her swing.
Up at 17, this is In-Gee Chun. 2nd shot. She would like to get to -13. All these players jockeying for position, Karen. If you could get into that final grouping tomorrow, especially if you're a player like Christy Kerr, I think that's a huge advantage to be able to go out there, probably with Zhang. Speaking of Zhang, here she is. This is her 3rd shot up the hill.
A little bit of an uphill lie as well, but that back shelf is just so shallow. I don't think anybody would try and land it up there and keep it there. But you never know. She's definitely trying it, and she did it.
Oh, beautiful action, Jerry. That's amazing. What a shot. There's a confident young lady right there. Effective square footage of that green up there is about 1,500 feet. So-Yeon Yu for birdie over at 15. Downhill, got a little right-hand break right at the end, just hit it too hard. So she's not done yet. And speaking of the home hole, here is Cristie Kerr on it.
She's not done yet either. A birdie here would match Lizette Salas for the all-time scoring record here. She is 9 under par. There you go, 62. That was in the final round in 2013. Got Lizette into a playoff with Suzann Pettersen. Here's Kerr, 9 under par today and 6 birdies in her last 7. Toughest hole on the course, though.
It is, and this is a sign of how different this course is playing. Kerr using a driver here today. In previous years, she would have only been hitting a hybrid.
Stay left. Kick left.
Such a small target, though, Karen. You can't afford to be too far back going into this 18th green.
No, when I've seen these fairways running in previous years, I would see caddies going out there watching the earlier player doing pitch and rolls on that fairway just to see how much the ball was pitching and where it was releasing to, so they could tell their players what the layup is.
Okay, Ariya Jutanugarn is going to wind up and take a full swing at this one, Jerry.
Yeah, not too many putts on this golf course that are a better test of your touch than this one. Up and over 2 sizable tiers in the green. The first one will throw it left a fair bit. The second one, not so much. It would be very easy to putt this off the green.
There's the first ridge right there, down through a swale, up and over again, and just as Jerry called, she will not get it on the green.
Does that count as a green missed?
I'm still confused about all that, but I sure hope not.
I know the people that are walking scorers are going to be confused with what they've got to put on their little handheld devices. I would say that's missed in regulation. That would not count.
Well, it is preferred lives, of course.
That was her third shot.
Missed green in regulation. If she misses that, she will have technically 2-putted for par.
All right, back-to-back par 5s, 13 and 14. This is the third shot for Mi-Hang Lee. It was lower than I was anticipating. She'll have that for a birdie. Get the latest news, scores, and live stream your favorite tournaments all in one with the Golf Channel app. Download it for free and start streaming today. Well, the fireworks, Mark and Karen, have come in the last hour or so. We've seen the big runs from In-Gee Chun and Cristie Kerr. And how about So-Yeon Jang and the poise with which she has played today, starting the day with the lead?
Yeah, she's done really well with that. And I think, to be honest, she knows where she is. She's playing very well. She's very comfortable on this golf course. She's not overtired. She hasn't played in too many events before this one. So she's really ready to go. And she knows that her game's in good order. She played well last year on the KLPGA. And she's got a belief in what her caddy's telling her to do. She's fully invested in everything he's got, in everything that's going on as he's whispering into her ear.
All right, Ariya Jutanugarn will be first as we look at the leader there. This now from off the back edge.
And because they're playing lift, clean, and place, she has up to a club length from her mark to place this ball if she so chooses. Looks like she's going to place it directly in front of the coin.
Would she get a better angle if she went one side or the other, Jerry?
If she went right, it'd make it a longer putt. If she went a little left, she'd have a little more fringe to have to go through based on the angle of the way that green's cut. So I think she could have moved it a few inches right and got it right to the very edge of the green.
Would it make a difference with the line?
Well, she saw the line going past, so I think that's why you would stick with this. You have a better chance at reading it properly. That came off the left of where the putter looked like it was aiming.
Okay, 2 really long straight shots and then 3 kind of short crooked ones. Add up to a par. She trails by 4. It's going to be a case tomorrow of how many players are between you in the lead, not just how big a deficit you have to make up. Cheyenne Woods, this is for a birdie over on the front side. At the fifth, she teed off on 10. Did not have a good start to her round. You see a couple of squares there, double bogey at 10. Nice bounce back birdie, though, there at 12. And made another 6, so she had bookend 6s on the beginning of each 9s. Now Jang for birdie.
Just a little bit downhill with a slight bit of bend in it. See just how good her touch is here, and if this goes in with conviction.
On the tee at the par 5 14th, our leader by 2.
Slight breeze at the moment from the opposite direction now. That's not a good sign. But that was a good shot.
She's got a good mix of power and accuracy. Top 30 last year on the Korean Tour in both driving accuracy and distance. Our aerial coverage is provided by the Hawaiian Islands. And Mark, it looks like something else may be coming in.
Well, you can see, too, also the water coming down off the mountain has gotten into the ocean there. So that is a very unusual situation. So our fixed-wing aircraft is about a half a mile out to sea there, and you can see the whole coastline there. Michelle Wie now, third shot at 5. Take a look at the leaderboard. You don't see a single player not under par for the day, and she is over. So maybe she can get that one in and catch another birdie on the way to the house. Speaking of on the way to the house, here's Christy Kerr at 18.
Boy, it's been a nice inward 9 for Christy Kerr, and she needs a birdie to tie the course record of 62. 9 under. Should check.
That's a great spot too. I mean, she's been on fire these last few holes. Everything's on all cylinders, and
Swan's on the green.
Yeah, it's on the green. Let's go back to the 14th and a third shot at the par 5 for Sharp.
I'm going to try to get this to land softly and not sit back like it did on the last hole. Boy, that was so close to being an amazing shot.
So if you're in that position and you know you're getting too much spin on it, what do? The thing to do is just to take one more club and hit a smaller swing. That way you don't generate that same kind of spin.
It's Michelle Wie over at 5 for birdie. right edge putt and a right in putt. Okay, Michelle. So bogey at 4, backed up with a birdie at 5. She gets back to -1, a full 14 shots behind.
So Yeon Yu is tied for 5th place. Just to get within 4. She's made only a single bogey. Now through 52 holes. Back at 14, Stacey Lewis has a putt for birdie.
Karen, you mentioned how beautiful the stroke was 2 holes ago, and she focuses primarily on that aspect. And she has worked more in the last year or so to lengthen her backstroke and not be so concerned about the through stroke. Oh boy, that hit something. Hop straight up, and she is lucky that didn't come back down the hill. Goodness. That took all the forward movement of the ball off. She's looking to see what just happened.
Let's take another look here. See if we can see it. Right there?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like a
Wow.
Evel Knievel.
Well, either she thought she was going to miss that spot, or it was a spot that she couldn't fix, that wasn't a pitch mark.
A couple of years' time, who knows? She might have been able to repair that. You think you ought to be allowed to fix a ball mark or a spike mark?
Ball marks you can fix, but you can't fix spike marks right now. Spike marks,
should you be able to?
I think it would slow play down if you were to fix spike marks. I think everybody would be spending hours doing the gardening on the greens if they do.
It's been a heck of a day for Elena Sharp, 36-year-old Canadian. She's got this to get within 1 of the leader, Jang.
And because of what happened to Stacey, she didn't get a good sense of what this, the speed of this putt. Basically 2 holes in a row where she's ended up with about the same situation and the same 2 pars, not taking advantage of either of the par 5s.
Well, whether they've played golf since they could hold a club or picking up a club for the first time, the Drive, Chip, and Putt Championship is for every kid everywhere. Register your child today. He or she could be the next national champion. Go to drivechipandputt.com to join in on the fun. Now Stacey Lewis with a par putt.
Yeah, this isn't fun. She certainly would like to have had this length putt for a birdie, Karen, and when something like that happens, that was just kind of weird. Maybe she didn't see that mark, think it was a factor. Maybe she didn't think she was going to come close to hitting it, but regardless, now she's got to forget about it and just look at this 8-footer and say, all right, where do I want to hit this? Where do I want to start it? And just think of the bottom of the cup.
Well, I think the other thing to say, Kay, is that when even if she saw it on her line and she knew she was going to have to go over it, you don't expect it to react like that. That really was like hitting a brick wall.
Now some rain falls, and that is going to really tick her off. I mean, all she had was a sand wedge in, sucked it back to the that lower level, and the ensuing 3-putt.
Let's go to 15.
Mi-Hang Lee, second shot at par 4. Everything will funnel to that lower right portion of this green if you keep it right of the hole, but it is so hard to aim between the left side of the green and that pin.
Okay, Christy Kerr for birdie and a share of the course record. What do you see here?
I see her making this putt, is what I see. This is right in Christy's wheelhouse.
62 for Christy Kerr. And she has vaulted into second place alone. So a 29 on the back 9 for Christy Kerr. She birdies 7 of her last 8 holes And she is going to be in great position. Yeah, you better believe it, for this Saturday finish tomorrow.
Got to be happy too that with the weather coming in, she's done. She's in the clubhouse.
Great point. One shot off her career low. This was Becky Morgan. The 14th. You can see the rain beginning to fall. So she would make par. And now Jutanugarn.
That was from just a touch under 80 yards after a wayward layup.
Over here.
And you wouldn't have expected that coming from there to get that kind of spin.
Just a little off, not much, just a little off all day. A couple of three putts in a row, although one of them technically, I guess, won't go down as a three putt. IK Kim began the day one back of Jang. It's been a struggle.
Well, she didn't let it bother her. She's been striking the ball extremely well. Of course, IK not blessed with a lot of power, so she has to take advantage of the golf course in other ways, which is getting it close and making some putts. She's done the getting it close part, but she has been so close to the hole on so many putts since that double bogey, and not a single one has dropped. 71 yards here into a little breeze.
Just double crossed herself, came across it, pulled it.
And again, they're playing preferred lies as they have all week, meaning that if you're in the fairway, you can pick it up, clean the ball, and replace it within one club length as long as you're no closer to the hole.
Yep.
And here's our leader, 22-year-old from South Korea, Soo-yeon Jang. Her lead is now 1 after Christy Kerr's birdie at 18.
Really good key to this shot is with dead arms, dead hands, quiet hands. That will also take some spin off it. Think Steve Stricker.
Well, she went for the spinner, though, from 63 yards, trying to throw it past it, I think.
Not just the shot making, but the courage to go for some of these very effectively small shelves, right?
Yep, exactly.
It paid off for birdie at the 13th, Willett at 14. Kerr in with a 62. The rain falls here on Oahu at Ko'olina. And Soo-Yeon Jang began the day with a one-shot lead with the likes of world number 3 Ariya Jutanugarn playing with her. And here is Ariya Jutanugarn, who suddenly 5 shots back.
For now, and with her fellow competitor facing another very short birdie effort. This one, however, not short, right along the ridge. The front edge of this green has to go up the tier. It's a gentle slope all the way up there. We'll throw it a little right. Hey, that one, what looked to be a very firm wrap, and still 2 feet short.
3 putt at the 12th for bogey. 3 strokes with the putter at the 13th for a disappointing par after reaching a par 5 that I don't think we saw anyone else reach into, did we?
No, she was one of the few players that I really thought would have an opportunity to get there. Although the fairways are soft, she can get the ball out there a long way, and we saw that 3 which she hit on there that was just monstrous. 236 uphill. Huge.
In-Gee Chun narrowly missed a 5th straight birdie at the 17th hole. Last hole, now she has this at 18.
This too, she has to come up a tier in the green. The tier kind of runs around here. That's what she's got to get up and over.
The shoulder turn. 7 under on a round today. Nary a bogey to the 15th.
You could probably fry an egg on the forehead of Stacy Lewis right about now. This is her second shot at 15.
The only thing that'll cool it off is if she sticks this in within 3 or 4 feet. And she's probably thinking, okay, where's the zip back on that one?
Commentary necessary there.
Jerry, yet another good look at birdie for our leader, 22-year-old Soo-Yeon Jang.
Yeah, excellent look. Putts a little downhill. Not a lot of break, maybe turning a hair left. So light rain turns into a little more of a full-bodied rain. And then you stand here, beautiful view from the screen out to the ocean and the sun reflecting off the water. It's a postcard picture, but tough playing conditions right now. It's more annoying than anything else when you're standing there putting and you know you're getting wet.
It's been raining birdies. Her 6th of the day. She's not made a bogey in the tournament yet. Her lead is 2, and with a one-shot lead when the day started, she is 6 under par today. Ahead to 15.
Elena Sharp still chasing. Got to keep the pace.
Be interesting to see how she plays this little sand wedge.
She plays it nicely. Will it get back down there? Almost. Sharp with 6 feet. It's a rainy afternoon at Ko'olina, but not for Jang. She leads by 2.
Xiaoyan Zhang with yet another birdie. 6 under par, 6 birdies today. She has not made a bogey in the tournament. Cristy Kerr, 62, ties the course and tournament record. And now our leader by 2 at 15.
Wow, she swings and then tips her cap. Goes down there, swings again, tips her cap again. Amazing. Wonderful tee shot for the leader.
At the 6th, lucky birdie for Michelle Wie. Birdie and a bogey today. 2 in a row. She's got some friends and family here. Grew up not far away.
That was a quicker putt from above the hole there. She was able to get it to the hole. She's been short all day long.
Over at 17 now. This is Xiaoyan Yu for a birdie, and she is seeing the gap widen between her and the leader. Unbelievably, she now trails by 6 shots. We go up to 18.
And Brooke Henderson for birdie. She was on the cut line yesterday with just a few holes to go. Made 4 birdies coming in. Good way to end it. That breakout year last year, won the major championship. To 15.
Remember, Lena Sharp played a beautiful second shot behind the hole, backed it back down to just above the hole.
And Mark, after nice birdies at 10 and 11, kind of stalled out in the last 3 holes, and that gap is widened between her and the leader. But a great opportunity here after a nice wedge. She's only 5.5 feet away from the hole.
There's been a miss. It's to the left from here. She got it in, though. That's a beauty. Good time to make a birdie there for Sharp. She gets back within 2. There's no 4s at all on the backside for Sharp. Bunch of 3s, a couple of 5s. And even our fixed-wing aircraft up there is getting some rain on the lens of the camera. Highly unusual weather condition. Kind of an unusual looking leaderboard too. Zhang at the top. Magnificent round. 6 under par for the day. Of course, that pales in comparison to Cristy Kerr, 62. We go to 18.
And NG Chun, a fine round today, trying to finish it off with just catches the right lip and drops in. And NG Chun with a bogey-free 65. This is shaping up to be quite a Saturday finish, isn't it? Some world-class players giving chase to a so far unproven player on the LPGA Tour. 17.
Second shot for Inbee Park.
Hole is located on the right side today. She gave that one a little bit of room, but when it's raining, sometimes you cannot be too aggressive. You just have to pick your moments.
Look up the coastline, and that is the Farrington Highway at the top of your screen there that goes all the way on out to the west side of the island of Oahu. But let's take a look at the second name on that leaderboard, a round of 62 for Cristy Kerr. And she's with Tom.
Thank you, Mark. We've had to move onto the terrace of Roy's because of the rain. Do they serve sellers here?
No, but I think they should.
That might change after this interview. Let's talk about what has happened this week and obviously today. That's 62. Coming into today, did you have a sense that you were going to be able to tie the course record?
You know, I think when you try to tie the course record, you never do it. So I honestly just try to not get ahead of myself, try to stay in the moment, and I started walking them in. So it was a good feeling.
We know that when you start walking them in, you're going to be dangerous, and that's what you did today. Talk us through the finish here. This was at 15.
Yeah, I hit it in the right rough and hit a great wedge to there and made it right in the middle. And then 16, kind of missed it a little bit off the tee, and I was just like, get it there, you know, because you never know. Sometimes they go in, and it never left the hole, and it went in. So pretty cool, and then made it on 17 and 18 about the same distance.
And this is at 17. Is there a sense when you're putting like this that you just can't miss?
Yeah, and it's a fun feeling. I wish I had it every single day. More times than not I do, but putting's always been my favorite part of the game, and yeah, it's definitely fun when you get to see them go in like that.
Do you ever have any thoughts of technique with your putting?
Very minimal, very minimal. Just basically trying to minimize movement. You know, keep everything really still and let the putter do the work and hit at the right speed and start it on line.
You had the lead at the Kia Classic last month at the halfway stage, and you said you did well trying to simplify things. Have you been able to do that, and if so, how?
Kind of gone back to a little bit more of a natural golf swing for me and not trying to be so manufactured, and that's really worked well. You know, my coach, Michael Hunt, and we work really hard. And, you know, I've had a different mindset this year after having knee surgery in the off-season. And I'm trying to go out. I'm trying to be very determined, take care of my own stuff, and try not to get ahead of myself, but enjoy being in the moment because it was really hard this off-season.
Yeah, you had that injury that you sustained at the Evian that led to surgery in November, but obviously no problems right now. Great day today, 62. You're in the hunt for tomorrow. We'll look forward to watching. Let's get back out to the action as the rain continues to fall here at the Lotte Championship. We'll go out to that final group.
There's the leader, and the sun shining on her right now at 15.
Is it ever? 91 yards to the hole. Well, here we go again.
Shot after shot, Jerry.
It is
incredible
impressive
performance. Yes, it is. That was just a moment ago. Ariya Jutanugarn trying to match it.
84 yards away for Ariya. Needs to match it. Needs to do more than make birdies right now. She's throwing this one past the hole.
That will come back down. Will it stop? It will. Zhang with about 8 feet, Jutanugarn with about 6. But it's Zhang with the lead here at the Lotte Championship from Kovalina Golf Club on Oahu.
Today's coverage is brought to you by Lotte, enriching your life. The new Volvic Vibe, an ultra-soft tour ball for any swing speed. Feel the vibe. And by Volunteers of America, helping America's most vulnerable.
is Aloha Friday in Hawaii, but it is the third round of the Lotte Championship. Golf Channel and the LPGA Tour bringing you live coverage of the only visit to Hawaii for the LPGA Tour this year. The Lotte Championship presented by Hershey. And we have been battling the rain over the first 3 days. The locals here say it is unusual to get so much rain in this part of Hawaii. We've been dealing with it, and the players have too. Let's go back out to the 15th and the leader for birdie.
From about 8 feet, little left-hand break, another one goes in. And this incredible performance just keeps getting better.
She's going to wear the tip of that hat out.
No mistakes. Phenomenal scorecard there for the leader. Ariya Jutanugarn just trying to stay somehow within reach. Shouldn't miss this one. She saw the line, the exact line.
Yeah, had to move her mark. Make this just to stay within 6. She needs to do today or tomorrow what Su Yan is doing today to have any chance, it appears.
Okay. A couple of nice threes there for Zhang and Jutanugarn. She's had a first-hand view of the leader. Had she not been playing with her, she might be wondering, which course is Zhang playing? Well, Cristie Kerr for that matter also.
Well, let's see who had the refreshing round of the day, presented by Samdasu. Well, this was a huge break, and Mark mentioned it earlier. Let's remember this if she goes on to win. She pulled her second shot at the par 5 fifth, caught a break to get up and down for birdie. That was her second birdie of the day. She would birdie 6, and then this at 7 for a third straight. And then at the par 5 13th, the hole is way back. You have to risk going over the green to get it back there and give yourself a good look. She did. Courage was rewarded. Then another small little shelf onto which you have to hit it to have a close look. And another beauty. Twice a winner last year on the Korean LPGA Tour. Su Yan Zhang. And just her 5th ever LPGA Tour start has a chance to win and get LPGA Tour membership. On the tee at the par 3 16th, this is Elena Sharp.
This is a stout par 3. Going with hybrid, and she's pulled it a tad.
Lindley hop.
Got pretty lucky with the way that bounced.
That's okay, isn't it?
That's fine there. Should be a great opportunity, actually.
Inbee Park with a big breaker to the right here. At 17. Is it high enough? Not quite. A little more speed it would have been. Up to 18.
So-Yeon Yu. She's in 6th place at 10 under. Water left, low location back right.
Nice shot when you consider that that is a hybrid in her hand going into that green.
Had an hour weather delay earlier, but nothing has been able to stop Su-Yan Zhang. 7 under on her round, and she leads it by 3.
back. This is the 17th. Yeon Lee. Second shot. She is at 9 under par. Trails by 8 shots. A little bit up the hill here. Big full swing, high shot. And pulled just a little bit. When you pull them, they almost always go a little bit long if you're a right-handed player. Chance for a 3, though. We go back to 16.
Lengthy putt here for Stacy Lewis.
Yeah, she didn't hit the best 4-iron, kind of came out of it. Ended up, she's got like a 50-footer.
Got off to the hot start yesterday. 4 birdies, first 5 holes. The rain came and slowed her down a bit, and then today just hasn't been able to get much going. Here's our final group, and there is your leader. Can you overstate what the experience last year means to her this year at this event?
No, I think, well, no, I really feel like she's in control of her game. She's very comfortable where she is on the golf course. As you rightly said, she's comfortable in this particular course too. And even the conditions that it's playing as well, is she's been very solid today.
We're at the 18th, and this is So-Yeon Yu. What do you see here?
This one, there is a little bit of a shoulder to this that she's going to have to come up and over. And the collar, the difference between the collar and the green, we'll want to send it a bit left at the start. I think though players are just happy to get off this hole with a par in general. A 4 on the 18th hole here is pretty good going.
You shoot 69 in the 3rd round, and you're getting just lapped.
Well, as we said earlier today, it's a combination of a couple of factors. Playing lift clean in place, really soft conditions, and not a great deal of wind.
She's currently 7 shots back of the leader, So-Yeon Jang. Elena Sharp is tied for 2nd, and here she is for birdie.
This is from 13 feet. Wow, she has been some kind of phenomenal on the greens today.
That goes down officially as a no putt. Kate, that's 22 putts for Elena Sharp today.
She's going to, whether she wins or loses this week, she's going to look back onto this day's round and really carry it forward.
You can see there, her and Becky Morgan, quite good friends, so nice little comfortable pairing for Elena today in this 3rd round.
Stacy Lewis made her par at 16. Here is our leader, So-Yeon Jang. Jerry Foltz has been watching through the raindrops today. How impressed are you, Jerry?
That's, well, it speaks for itself, the way she's playing golf, completely in control, never puts a hurried swing on one. She has a great deal of coaching, as we mentioned earlier in the broadcast, from her caddy, but that can only go so far. You still have to execute the shots. And she is doing it time after time. Only one real mistake, and that was kind of laying the sod over to 9, but still made par there. Technically a very good golf swing. I think the only question in my mind, and I don't know this player very well at all, none of us do really, is how will she hold up on Sunday in the biggest stage she's ever performed upon. She was there last year and struggled a little bit, especially with the putter today. She hasn't had a lot of long putts, but she's made the medium length and the little ones look very, very good. Now this hole today, much more gettable than normal. Typically the trade winds are humming out of the left here, make it nearly impossible to get to this whole location. There's not a breath of wind right now. That was a 4-iron. Started at the right center of the green and staying there.
I think, Jerry, to your point, much of how she performs tomorrow might depend on how much socialising she has to do with maybe her sponsors. This tournament sponsored by Lotte, she's sponsored by Lotte. They're all here. They may be demanding of her time a little bit.
Over on the other side of the course, Michelle Wie at the 7th for 3 in a row. Are you kidding me? And you can hear by the groans, there are still a lot of people out there rooting for Michelle Wie, which is not unusual. It's always the case here in Hawaii for Michelle. Back to 16.
And Ariya Jutanugarn.
That was a 5-iron. That didn't sound exceptionally solid. A little high on the face again. Similar line. Very similar.
Been a lot of that today, hasn't there, Ariya?
It's difficult for players. You know, you get warmed up, then you have a good hour before you go and tee off again. It's very hard to get back into that rhythm for some players. I mean, obviously our leaders have not had that same problem. Elena hasn't.
IK Kim.
IK going with a 4 hybrid here, and as Karen explained earlier, typically that would equate to the distance. She would hit a standard 3 iron if she carried one. It's a rare club on the LPGA Tour as a 3 iron. This is an overly aggressive line and turning left.
Well left.
Mihang Lee for birdie at 17 down the hill. Got some right hand break. She will stay at -9. We thought Lydia Ko might have the round of the day at 7 under. In-Gee Cheng has already matched that at 7 under. We've got 2 players on the course at 7 under for the day, and they're only within 3 of Cristie Kerr.
Just a sterling performance from Suyang Zhang. Begins the day with a 1-shot lead, 7 under par. Her lead is now 2. Elena Sharp won't go away. Cristie Kerr's vaulted into contention. We're on the tee at the par 3 8th, and it's Michelle Wie, her 17th hole of the day.
Got to try and land it on that top tier, which she does.
All the fun's happening on the other side of the golf course at the 16th. IK Kim looks like she's got a shot, Jerry.
She does. Clear line to the whole uphill line. She hits it a little short. It'll bounce down the hill. She flies it well. Flew it just about the right distance.
First birdie of the day, maybe? No. Well, here is our UL Innovative Shots of the day. At the 16th, Cristie Kerr for a second straight birdie from long range. It would be one of 7 birdies in her last 8 holes en route to a 62, which tied the tournament record. In-Gee Cheng at that same 16th. And that would lead to her 4th straight birdie. 65 today for NG Chun, our UL Innovative Shots of the day. And at the 16th, our leader by 2. Hasn't had one of this length in a while.
I was just going to say that, Grant. One aspect of her game that hasn't been tested today. The lengthy putts. This one a little uphill, not terrifying at all. Very good speed on that one. Maybe a little too good.
Has not made a bogey this week. She's been having birdie putts from this range. She's got a few feet for par. Did Area pay attention to that one, Jerry?
Yes, she did. She does sometimes seem a little aloof on the golf course, but no, she keeps her mind on the job at hand much more than she gives the appearance of doing. This has been such an underrated, we talked about it earlier in the week, this has been such an underrated part of her game and part of her success in the last 12 months is this club right here.
She puts such a good roll on the ball. We looked at it a little bit at the A&A Inspiration. The ball just skids for just a very short fraction after it leaves that putter face, and then it rolls.
She says she'll wait. Let's get you to the 8th and a birdie putt here from Michelle Wie.
Okay, that's not bad. Nice easy par on a hole that can cause so many problems.
Par putt for Zhang, our leader, by 2.
I would normally try and say this is not an easy putt, but she's made him look easy. There's just a touch of break from the left. But it is a little downhill.
Flawless has not made a bogey this week, and she remains bogey-free and remains in front by 2. Ahead to 17th.
It's Elena Sharp from the right-hand rough, ball way above her feet.
She has a good lie, though. Ball sitting up nicely. 92 to the hole.
She probably can't believe she's 7 under par for the day and cannot make up ground. And we are looking good here in the afternoon now at Colina. And let's go down to Tom Abbott.
Thank you, Mark. Here with So-Yeon Ryu. Hard to believe, So-Yeon, you're 7 shots back of the lead right now. You've been so steady over the first 3 days, just one drop shot. You said coming into this week that there were a lot of expectations, that you were nervous. Are you still nervous?
Well, I was nervous before I teed up my first round at the first tee. Then, after I started to focus on this game, all of a sudden I just, get away all the nervousness, which is a really good thing. Then, as soon as you started to play with all the really great fellow competitor, you start to enjoy more, and you just want to focus on this game instead of think about all of things.
You've said before that, consistency is sort of a key to your game. Do you feel like now that consistency is at its highest level, that you're playing the best golf of your career?
I guess so, especially, my shot, definitely. Even though I missed a birdie putt, after I missed the putt, I just think myself, okay, my shot's good enough to make plenty of birdie chance, so, let's hunt another birdie instead of just heads down and just think about, why I missed. So I think just, especially after we win, I got a lot of confidence. So hopefully this confidence, it can relate it to a lot of win as well.
You might be feeling that sort of the floodgates open after you got that win, having waited so long. Maybe another one will come along. By the way, it's a little bit noisy up here because we're on the terrace of Roy's, and there's a lot of people having dinner right behind us. But, tomorrow, Do you think you still have a chance? You're 7 back. So-Young Jang is a player who's won a couple of times on the KLPGA, but this is a new territory for her.
Yeah, definitely. You know, this is golf. You know, the reason why I love this game is because this game is crazy. You know, even though I'm like 7 shot back, you never know what's going to happen. So I'm definitely going to go do my best to win the tournament. Then, yeah, to be honest, you know, 7 shot is quite big gap. And I think after we got huge rain, the greens will be soft enough. That's why you can see a lot of, you know, low number. And, you know, plus So-Young Jang is a really, really great player. She, you know, won several times at the KLPGA. And it's not, you know, even So-Young Jang, the other girls playing really well. So, you know, it's going to be really tough to chase them up, but I'm going to do my best tomorrow.
I just learned that you two have something in common. You both went to Yonsei University, so we could have a Yonsei winner here this week.
Exactly. Whoever won the tournament, my university is going to be happy.
Let's get back out to the action now as we're closing the 3rd round here at the Lotte Championship. And we'll go to the tee at the 17th.
Here's the leader.
Not much doubt on that one, Mark. Straight down the middle on the dogleg right.
She has driven the ball magnificently today.
Iron play's been pretty special as well.
And putted well. Let's see. That adds up to a pretty good result. Becky Morgan now.
Her patience paid off a couple holes ago when she made a birdie at the 15th. Just 2 birdies, 1 bogey, and she probably feels like she's just kind of treading water.
Yeah, the golf course, Kay, is played really easy, especially after the weather delay. Very soft. Scoring just incredible. Just shows the tremendous talent, particularly depth that the LPGA has. You have some of the names that we're seeing at the top of this leaderboard that you don't hear from very often. Jang, of course, being the main highlighter.
And Mark, it's a huge day for Elena Sharp. You know, we keep expecting her to sort of get to that next level. It's like every year she's gotten a little bit better on tour, but she's still looking for that first win. Her best score this year has been a 67. She missed the last 3 cuts, so this could be a big breakthrough week. Even if she doesn't win, she could get her personal best finish. And all those little things help contribute to, hopefully, at some point she'll break through.
To get to 8 under for the day, nearly in, but not quite.
I really like the way she's composed herself today. She just looks like she belongs out here in this situation.
And she could well have a chance to stare down the leader tomorrow in that final group.
24-year-old Mi-Hyang Lee at the 18th. He got water left. Uh-oh. Oh, boy. Mi-Hyang 9 under, tied for 7th, but she's in 2. And there is a drop area. She's already plotting it out, isn't she?
She knows.
Back to 17.
Sharp for her par. Not much in this one. Okay. So she will head over to the 18th tee with a chance to perhaps get in with a round of 64. Who knows? One of the magnificent lagoons here at Ko-Olina. But all the attention is on the golf right now. back to the Lotte Championship. That is the improbable leader, leading by 2, has a round of 7 under par going, has not made bogey. And another terrific tee shot here at 17 here.
And another great chance to get one close. Slight downhill line, well, also slightly above her feet, but neither one enough to really factor in too much. 105 to the hole mark, 101 to get it to that top tier in line with the flagstick.
Other than one fat iron shot, her distance control has been impeccable. Great shot there from our airplane up above. And it'll just creep to the back of the green. Won't come back down, but it's okay. A lot of the way she feels tonight is going to depend on the way she plays the next 20 minutes of golf here at Coalinga. Now Jutanugarn.
Very similar lie, similar shot, 5 yards closer, this 100 to the hole. But with her club head speed, it might react a little differently when it lands.
Kick left coming all the way back down. That is not a very good shot at all. Wow. Pretty much everything has gone awry. She manufactured a score on the front 9. She knew it was not good. But there will be days like that, and she will have many that are a whole lot better.
Toughest hole on the course, the 18th, and Elena Sharp.
Yeah, opting for 3-wood off the tee. And big difference is that rough has come in so much farther this year on the right. She found it.
Well, we have endured a 1-hour weather stoppage. Su-Yan Jang, 17 under par. She leads Elena Sharp by 2. Grant Boone, major champion Karen Stupples here. What's impressed you most about 22-year-old Su-Yan Jang?
Well, just how she's continued this good form. She's played really well, she's hung in there, and really she hasn't put a foot wrong today. Putted the ball really well, she's got the clubs into the green correctly, she's driven the ball out of trouble, which is great on a third round. Not quite the final round, not quite the same pressure she's going to be facing tomorrow. That being said, she looks in complete control of her game, and I really feel like it's down to the relationship that she has with her caddy. She literally has given him control of her game and said, tell me what to do and I'll just do it. I know of one other player that worked really well for, and that was Emily Klein when she won the Women's British Open a number of years back. Her husband at the time, Kenny Harms, was on the bag, and he did everything for her in much that same way.
As great as Su-Yan Jang has been, she's needed to be great to maintain this 2-shot lead. She's going to have to earn this tomorrow, isn't she?
She is, and I think it's not so much... I mean, Elena Sharp, she's played fantastic today. She's really putting herself in a good spot, and I think, as Kaya said in the broadcast, the more she does this, the more she puts herself in this position, the better opportunity she's going to move forward. Tomorrow's going to be a tougher day for her, I think. She's going to want to win, and she's had a great day today, and following up a great day with another good one is not that easy.
Well, both of her wins last year on the Korean LPGA Tour came from behind. She trailed going into the final round. She'll have a lead up here now. 17.
Harriet Jutanugarn with just about the longest putt you could possibly have here, Jerry.
It is indeed. And it goes up that subtle little tier to the second slope. Turns a little left while it does that.
Last one she had like this, she putted off the green at 13. Not this one, though. Much better judge there.
A little more speed. That might have found the bottom of the hole.
So she'll leave herself 2.5 feet or so for her par. She trails by 6, but by no means is this over. The pursuers would love to see a windier day tomorrow, tougher conditions, just anything that might unsettle Jang a little bit.
The thing is, when you think about Aria, she has all the firepower in the world at her fingertips. and she could pull off a really great round of golf tomorrow and really post a number.
We have seen some comebacks here at Kolina, that's for sure. It's a good course to make up ground. You can get in trouble, and a leader like Jang could easily shoot around a 74. And as we've seen from Christy Kerr, there was a 62 out there today. Maybe there'll be another one tomorrow. Lizette Salas did it.
One of the things interesting about this week, Mark, the past history of the winners here has shown that hitting the fairways is not important, as important as other courses, but it is this.
No question about it. I.K. Kim didn't hit enough today. Over at 9, Michelle Wee with her third shot. Getting ready to finish up her third round. That's a good one.
Mark and Karen, would you anticipate Lithman in place tomorrow?
I think they pretty much have to, Grant, because with the way these fronts have come in and out, even if it isn't raining in the morning, you have to expect that it might, and that would protect them.
This golf course has taken on so much water. I really don't see it drying out to a good enough extent for them not to.
And it's not just the rain this week, Karen. It has been a rainy winter, as I said, so the ground is totally saturated. That's why we saw the creek overflowing there at 7. Now Jang for a birdie.
A little downhill here for Jang. Should be moving right as it nears the hole. Nothing in that pre-shot routine has changed a bit, and that's what you rely on when you are under pressure.
She's got very soft hands, a conventional grip on the putter. I really like that. She can release the putter through. She's got a nice long backswing. Nothing seems forced, really, at all. Take a look at that scorecard. Can't imagine how she could have made a 5 on the first hole. Everything else has been phenomenal since then. Jang with a 2-shot lead at Kolina.
From high overhead, Kolina Golf Club. It's the 6th playing of the Lotte Championship presented by Hershey. The 18th there in the top left of your screen. And we've got a couple of groups to finish up here. Kay Cockle is watching this penultimate trio, which includes Becky Morgan,
who is in her 2nd year as a volunteer assistant coach of the Oregon State women's golf team, and enjoying her time living in Corvallis, Oregon. This is all the par 4 she once today, 189 yards for her second. That was about her most errant shot she's hit today.
She's tied for 7th right now. Her last top 10 on the LPGA Tour was in 2009. So you talk about somebody